Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We are excited today that you're joining with us on Co-working Live with Red Worldwide. And we are so excited today because it's Thursday. And on Thursdays, we learn all types of tech tools that can help to make our lives easier, to help us reduce some of our clutter or even replace automations and things that we may have been using that just don't serve us as well anymore. And so, with that said, we were kind of chatting about how do we demonstrate the way that we can place our content in a repository or in a situation where it will be easily accessed, but not as easily for whatever reason, lost. Okay. And so this is really important. Some of us are right in the middle of our tax planning. Others of us have already planned, and we are right in the middle of getting ready to file. And so we need to have a place to put things. And I was on a podcast yesterday, and we talked about utilizing certain tools for this purpose. And so we're going to look at those tools. I was looking for the video that I had done some years ago on Airtable. And unfortunately, I was not able to see that in that video, some of the newer things that are available now with it were highlighted. So I'm like, okay, what we need to do now is to do a new video. And so I talked to everyone yesterday when we were here, and I told you to make sure you brought your computer and not just use your phone, because I wanted you to give you a link and I wanted everybody to get on. And if you could have two screens, or if you have a way of going back and forth between the two screens, I want you to be able to watch what I'm doing, and then I'm going to give you the opportunity to do what I'm doing utilizing the same software. So today we're going to look at two softwares online, two different softwares, but that actually work seamlessly together to produce a solution for you with regards to keeping up with different types of anything that you need to store in the cloud, but also anything that you need to have a system for. And so this is what we're going to do. So we're going to talk about Jotform today, which is a form software that is used so widely. I mean, everyone uses it, from government entities to colleges to just general, people who are running their business from their home, or individuals. There are lots of different uses for Jotform. And then we're going to talk about Airtable, which is a database software that works a lot like Excel, but it also has so many other applications. And when you put the two things together and integrate them, you have a seamless process for storage and automations, registrations, all types of things. And you have a place to keep all of those things and not just have it terminate, to your own email. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get to it because I want people to have the maximum amount of time to play. And this is what I call a sandbox day. So if you guys are familiar with, different types of engineering processes and things, you might have been at some point made aware of utilizing tools and having those tools in what we call the sandbox, where you actually get a chance to play with the tool and have the tool do what you needed to do, so you can really experience what its purpose is. Okay, so I'm going now to Jotform first because I want to show you a few things in this particular software. So when you go to the software, there, of course, is going to be a place where you will log in and or create an account. You'll get 5 free to have a freemium model. And we talked about the freemium model. So if you were on the line when we talked about the freemium model is the model that allows you to use the software for free with limitations. Okay. So this software is like a lot of other softwares. And if you go to Jotform, hold on, I'm going to go there with you, .com. Okay. you will see this particular oh no, I don't want to go and log into my account over here. But you'll see this particular window come up. This is their sales page. And basically, the sales page does a few things. It tells you about the software. It gives you some of its credibility, right? Testimonials and endorsements by different companies. And as you scroll down, it tells you what you can do with the software. You can build the form you need in minutes, integrate your form with business apps, collect online payments seamlessly. So this is really a full solution for someone who doesn't necessarily want to receive money on their website, or they want an additional tool that they can send to people in their text messages, where they can have them, sign up for something, pay for something right then and there. They also can integrate this on the website and collect payments on the website, from Jotform. And we do it, on several of our pages where we have a Jotform there, and people can see exactly what we want them to register for or what we want them to pay for. Or, if we need to sell a book or a widget or a gadget, we can do that with Jotform. Okay. And so it's very, a very usable tool. Many times Jotform will have a grant program that will run that will give people access that have, 501c3s to utilizing their software for free at the larger capacity, meaning that they have options to use the gold or silver, or not the enterprise, but the gold or silver at a lesser price. Now, if you are a nonprofit or if you have a nonprofit, you can actually cut these prices at half, because what happens is you sign up and then you send them your 501c3 documents, and then they will allow you to gain access to the bronze, for silver, or gold accounts at half the price. And so instead of you being able to do 100 monthly submissions, which is what you're able to do on the free plan, you can do 1,000 or 2,500 or 10,000 based on how you need to use the software. And for me, that wasn't necessarily the reason why I decided to sign up with my nonprofit. The reason why I decided to sign up with my nonprofit is because I needed the space. I needed 10 gigabytes of space to store things, but I also wanted to have 100,000 monthly form views. I needed people to be able to view it so that I could sell things or get donations and all of that. And so it allows for, greater options when you sign up for the more intense product, if I can say it that way. So let's kind of look over here. I want to show you some options, and I'm hoping that people are able to see this from a standpoint of just looking through the window of what your product, might look like if you're going to create, a form for people to purchase or sign up for your services, or for that matter, even register to have appointments with you, because they have those types of forms as well. So we're going to use a template to create a form. Okay. When you click here and you go to look at the options for templates, you see that you have several options available, and you can look at the templates to see if it's something that really will help you. And there's all kinds of things in here: hotel booking forms, class registrations, custom simple order forms, course instructor feedback. I mean, these are just, some of the more widely used forms. And these forms here, I'm going to click on preview. You can see that these are forms that are, that will come up in a way that it's like a web page, okay? Or on a phone, it'll come up, it's pretty much like a web page demonstrating everything that's available for someone to actually purchase or register or anything like that. So we use forms for everything. We capture, before we started using even the website that we're using right now, we had so many Jotforms that were just beneficial in what it is that it allowed us to see and do. So What I'll show you is I'm going to put something in here for real estate. So I'm going to ask it to show me the forms for real estate. And it's taking me to forms that other people have already created that I can use as a template to a starting place for me to create a form. So client information for real estate listing form, real estate contact form, real estate buyer questionnaire, real estate open house feedback, real estate leads. There are tons and tons of these, right? And they even have the types of forms, because these particular forms are forms that come up like a web page, but I might decide that instead of wanting this particular kind of form, maybe I want instead of the classic layout, I might want a card layout. So if I want a card layout, it's going to take those same forms and show me what's available, from the templates that people have created that I can have as a starting point. So let's go back to real estate. Okay. And I'm only using real estate because I want people to see, just in the real estate industry, what is possible from forms that are here. So we have real estate agent forms, real estate, there's 507 real estate forms total. Then there's 30 templates for real estate agent forms and 28 templates for real estate feedback forms. So there are tons and tons of forms in here. Personal information. So let's kind of look at a few, just so you can kind of get an idea what's out there. Personal information form, a person would put in their name. Okay. And let's see. Oh, on the template, it doesn't allow me to do this. So I'm going to put test and test so that we can go to the next one. The phone number, you put in a phone number and you can go from there to email, birth date, you're searching a property age preference. You see where this is going. So this gives you the ability to collect information from prospective clients so you will know what they're looking for. And now you can start a database of names of people who are looking for what you have to sell. Okay, let's look in some other industries really quickly because I want you to just have, like I said, an idea before we show you how to use it. Let's look at some payment forms. Okay. So here's a Square charity donation form, a Square product order form. And when it's talking about Square, it's talking about using the payment processing system Square, right? So there are some forms that are for PayPal, some forms that utilize Square, some forms that can utilize Venmo. There's all the Stripe. All different ways that you can. Oh, I'm sorry, Venmo's not in this particular group. It's just Square, PayPal, and Stripe. So there's ways that you can utilize these with the different payment processors that you might be using. So we're going to look at let's look at one from Stripe. Okay. An online food order form. Let's look at the template. Okay. So here, people can see what's on the menu and they can choose something. We're just going to choose the 3 chilled entrees. Okay. And I'm going to choose the therapeutic and I'm going to choose it that it's pureed. Okay. And I'm adding it to my bag, $47. Now I go to the next thing and I put in my information and then I put my full name in and my email and my phone number and hit next and my address and hit submit. Okay. So in this particular case, this was an online food order. And if I had actually, there was a place in there, but because we're in the template, you can't see it, where it would have asked to take my card information. Okay. So there's tons and tons and tons of these types of forms. Now, what I want to show you is not only do you have the ability to create forms, but you also have the ability to create apps. Because in here, if let's just say you needed a simple app that was going to allow you to do something that made really good sense for your type of business. So we have in here the Precision Finance Tracker. Okay. And so I want to show you what this looks like. So let's just view the form, okay? So this is our app for tracking your finances. We created this inside of Jotform. And here we have income, budget, log a receipt, log reimbursements. Some of you guys who were on the call last night heard us talking about being able to keep up with your data so that when it's time for you to file your taxes, you have a place for these things to be found, right? So we could quickly decide that we want to put some income in here by clicking on the income, and it's going to take us to a place where we can load our income per month. Now, this is a simple app, but it solves a problem for some people who may not be using QuickBooks, or they may not have an account, set up for them with QuickBooks or with any of those other softwares, or they may not want to pay for any of that. And so this is a way to actually have access to something that they don't have to pay for, because they get 5 free forms inside of Jotform. And this particular finance tracker that we created this app, by the way, gives us the ability to have a no-code solution for a problem. Okay, somebody might be wanting to budget. And so basically the information that they put in for their income and the information that they put in for their expenses gives them the ability to see every month of their budget from an app that we created in probably about 45 minutes. I kid you not. Okay, and when they click on the month, they can see how much money they have remaining, the income amount, okay, that they have put in, okay, their expenses amount, and what they saved in the month of October, and their debt total and their reserves total. Kind of cool, huh? It's just a way of a person being able to view their budget for what it is that they're needing to do, right? And so if they don't have anything from this month and they have their reserves here and their debt total, they can at least get the ability to see where they are, okay? So this is a really cool way to make some of those things happen. So we're going to go back to, and I really would love for you guys to see how this looks on a phone. So let me do that right quick, because it is kind of cool to be able to get that view. Okay, so let's go over here to Airtable, because Jotform gives us the ability to put the information here, but when you put the information in over here on Jotform, it can be found over here on Airtable. So remember how I told you we use these two softwares together? And I'm going to get you inside of Airtable so you can see how we did this. But basically what we did is that we have the front-facing view of the app in Jotform. The back end of the app is inside of Airtable. So we have the ability to see it in a way that makes sense and manipulate the data and work with the data here. We can pull in information from our bank accounts. We can do all kinds of things over here in Airtable. And by pulling these two things together, we really do have a well-rounded solution. So if we wanted to log a receipt, we could click here on log a receipt, and we have created a form. And this form is actually connected to Airtable, even though the front of the form is in Jotform. The information that we put in here goes all the way over to Airtable, and it gives us the ability to see, after we've put in the date and time, the total price, and the category for what we purchased. And someone was asking me yesterday about categories. And so this is what we've done here, is we've put some of those categories here in the app. And then we added, a place for you to write, any kind of content information that you need to associate with this particular purchase. And we talk about what type of purchase it is. Is this a monthly purchase, recurring, one time, or something we do frequently, which also helps us in another area as we are looking at our budget and looking at what we spend. And we can click here, attach file, and it will give us the ability to do what? To upload the receipt. Okay. And so this is a really good way for you to keep up with, what it is that you're doing. You can even take a photo of the receipt in here so that you can upload it. But you can also choose to get the receipt from any other cloud storage that you might have the receipt in. And that just kind of gives you another really good way to keep up with things, okay? And then you can log reimbursements here. So you put in your name, your title, your department, and even if this is your company, you could be the executive person, the chief executive officer or chief financial officer, or whoever you are. If you have departments in your company, you put it there, your phone number, your email address, and if you have a manager, you put your manager's name. If you don't, then don't worry about any of those, because these are not mandatory fields. But you can then put the expenses list, what you have spent the money on, or the cost of, your plane tickets or whatever it is that you're being reimbursed for, the total cost, and click on the certification. This gives you a timestamp. So now you have a way of keeping track of whatever that reimbursable expense was. So just 4 things on this one app. But the thing that we did is give us the ability to use automations to do something that we would either have to put in a journal or a ledger or something. And now we have a way of keeping access to it, over here in Airtable. So now I want to take you to Airtable itself. So just like Jotform, when you go to Airtable, you're going to have to log in. And then I'm going to give you some links to be able to get in. Because I'm logged in, you can't see what the actual home the external page would look like, but basically it's going to give you an opportunity to put in your username and password, and it tells you, just like Jotform does, information about how you can use this software. And so as you can see, we have tons and tons and tons of things in here because we've been using it for many years now, almost since it was created. I mean, I think like 1 year in, we started using the software. And so some of the ways that we use it, in addition to like being the back end software for the app that we have here, income and savings pool, and the budget. We have this whole setup right here inside of Airtable in a particular database. And so that database gives us the ability to gain a view of how this data is being used. And I want to let me just make sure that I have the precision finance. That's what I need to find. So we're going to type in here precision. Okay, let's see. Hold on. I want to see if we can get the actual app. I want to see if maybe it's a savings pool. No. I'm not exactly sure what the database is called. I can see it here. Incomes and savings pool. And I'm sure that it's coming from one of these. I just don't know which one it is right now. So, there it is. Okay. So it's coming from one of the bases, that the personal budget and reserve strategy. Okay, here we go, guys. All right. So sorry about that. So here we go. So now we're able to see our expense log, our budget, our income, our reserves, a debt summary, monthly reserves, early loan payoff calculator, credit card payoff calculator. All of this is a part of the back end of what we're doing in Jotform, right? We're putting the information in Jotform.